Hello everybody, welcome back to Poolside Cigar Reviews for review number 4. This week I will be taking a look at the My Uzi Weighs a Ton from Drew Estate. This was by recommendation from viewer Rory with My Cigars channel, so check him out. Thank you very much, Rory, for the recommendation. This again is the My Uzi Weighs a Ton by Drew Estate, which is was made through Subculture Studios in Joya de Nicaragua, which is one of Drew Estate's brands. This is the plus 11. It's in between a Toro and a Robusto. I don't know what you would call that. It's a 5.5 by 52. It's let me look at my cheat sheet here. It's got a San Andreas wrapper, Connecticut shade binder, and it's the filler is a mixture of Brazilian Metafina and Nicaraguan tobacco. It's got a nice sweet tobacco smell, almost like if you've ever tried chewing tobacco. It's got that sweet raisiny, just moist tobacco smell. Smells great. All right, so let's pop the cap and get into this already. So supposedly the name comes from when Drew Estate was working on this. This was really blended to be a 6x60 shoulder split. This was blended to be a 6x60, and while they were working on it, Jonathan Drew was calling it the Uzi, and then when he went to pick it up, the first box of 50, he lifted it up and said, "Oh, my Uzis weigh a ton," and that's where the name comes from. And I'm guessing that also has to do with the Public Enemy song, "My Uzi Weighs a Ton." So it's an interesting name. I haven't had this cigar before. I've had the My Uzi bait fish, and I did like that. This has been in my humidor for about 4 months. And the shoulder's really coming off here. Clean, sweet, not super spicy. A little bit of spice coming in now. A little bit of wood. Yeah, clean cedar, a little spice in the finish. Maybe a little bit of coffee and tobacco. So I'll dig into this, and I'll be back in just a minute, let you know how the first third went. But so far, if this is going to continue like the first light, I think I'm really going to like this. So we'll see what we get. Be back in a flash. So I'm a little over an inch down, probably about 25 minutes in. It's been a slow burner so far, medium draw. If I had one word to describe this to this point, it would be balance. There's a lot going on. There's some kind of the same flavors off the first light, you know, some wood, tobacco, a little bit of coffee, and a little bit of spice. But you know, there's some cocoa, and basically pretty much all the standard flavors that you get out of most cigars. I mean, a little bit of cocoa here and there, a little bit of leather, draw to draw. I've had a little bit of raisin, little hints of cream, a little bit of everything really so far, but nothing predominant, just very balanced. And I would say definitely no more than a medium body. I'm very surprised. I don't read much about these cigars before I smoke them. I want to just make my own judgment. And based on the name, My Uzi Weighs a Ton, I figured this would be a big, bold, spicy, you know, knock you on your ass kind of smoke. And it hasn't been that at all. It's been medium bodied, just very smooth, very balanced. Very nice cigar. I'm really enjoying this. So I'll keep trucking here, let you know what I get out of the second third. But so far, this has been very good. So I'm about 50 minutes in. Very slow burn on this cigar, and a lot of smoke, so that's good. It's still very well balanced. I did get more earth and some cream in the second third, but I love the flavors. Now, the one thing I am worried about, and I'll go ahead and take the band off now. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but this wrapper is just popping and splitting like crazy. It looks like a pretty thin, delicate wrapper. That's actually not all that uncommon. It's an Arizona thing. Cigars don't like Arizona. So I'm worried that since I took the band off, that this whole wrapper just gonna pop. And it's not, you know, it's not coming apart at the seams. It's just starting to pop as I smoke it, and it warms up. But a really slow burn, really great flavor. I wish the wrapper weren't coming off like this, because it does make it kind of a pain to smoke. But I'm really enjoying it, and I will finish this up and let you know my final thoughts. So I'm about an hour and 15 minutes into this, and I'm just finishing it up. The last third did have a major transition. It became a full bore leather. It actually, I kind of got a little bit bored. It was very straightforward leather. And my definition of complexity has to deal with multiple flavors at once kind of interacting with each other. So some people define complexity as having a lot of transitions. The only major transition was in the last third, but it was just to a plain leather, so it got a little bit boring in the final third. The wrapper, you can say it's splitting at the foot, but it didn't explode on me like I was worried that it might. It's been a great burner all the way through. Lots of smoke. No problem setting it down. I think I paid an $8 or $9 range. I don't remember exactly what I paid for this, but fairly long burner for a Robusto. If you were so inclined, you could smoke another half-inch off this. But I liked it. I do want to give a special shout out to the Calypso Cigar Shop podcast. If you get on YouTube, search for Calypso Cigar Podcast and check some of those out. They're about an hour long. It's a great podcast. Randy Rankin and Brandon Luna do a great job. It's a fun podcast. I look forward to it every Monday morning at work. I sit and listen to it while I'm plugging away on my Excel spreadsheets. So keep up the good work, guys. And if you haven't tried it, My Uzi Weighs a Ton, I definitely recommend it. I enjoyed this smoke. So the last third was a little boring, but overall, very well balanced cigar. Really enjoyed it. Wasn't what I was expecting. I'd actually like to try this in a 6x60. I know that's what it was blended for. I'm normally not a big ring gauge guy, but I think this could be interesting in a 6x60. So I want to thank, again, Rory for recommending this, and everybody for tuning in. So if you have any personal recommendations, let me know. If I have one in my humidor, I'll fire it up, and if not, I'll pick one up and see what I can do. So in the meantime, I hope you have a great week, and as always, make sure you keep your feet in the pool, a glass in your hand, and a cigar in your mouth. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great week. Good smoke.